Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation.
I remember growing up without my parents. My parents were missionaries, so they were traveling from one state to another until my mom and my dad finally moved to the US and hoping to bring us in a short while. But that didn't happen. And so we and my siblings literally grew on our own without them. Not as if I am saying this because maybe I'm upset and all that. No, it was the circumstances that they found themselves in. They were busy preaching the word in different countries and states, but coming to the US was not easy for them to do their papers and come back and forth like that. For those of you that are immigrants, you know the story. You know how it is for you to get your papers. It's not one size fits all. Some people take longer time, some people take shorter time. I would say it just depends on the grace of God, really, because it's not how quick you came into the US that will determine how fast you get your paper or how early you came or how late you came. There are some people that have been here for many, many years and still don't have anything. So I'll call it the grace of God. So my parents were in that shoes that they didn't get their papers on time. So it was kind of difficult for we to calm down and for them also to calm down. So, but they were always coming down once in a while and all that. That was the challenges that they were facing at that time. So based on that, it was a very difficult thing for we to grow up with them. So I literally grew up without them. So most of the things I know, we learned them. We had to just grow up on time. We became matured on time. I remember starting my business when I was much younger and all that because they were not there. So myself and my siblings, we all had to push through life literally on our own. It was not a fun thing, but we did it. So based on that, I decided that for my family, I'm going to be involved in their life no matter how busy I am. So I made that personal determination that no matter the situation or whatever it is I'm doing, I must be involved in the life of my children. But you know what? Life always happens. So when I came in here, as most of you would know, I was faced with a lot of challenges that at the first instance, I didn't really have time to be there because I had to be the mother, father, mom, and everything to my kids. So I had to go and fend, had to go look for jobs to do to cater for them and all that. So it was not a difficult thing. It gave me some mental and psychological issues because what I said I wasn't going to be was what I was already turning into. So those were the challenges at that time. Now the challenge I'm facing, having to raise my kids on my own and having to run a multi-million-dollar real estate portfolio and having to take care of myself and having to be the father, mother, being everything to them. It's a lot of work, and having to do that with multi-family investing is not a child's play, really. When I see couples that we have both the husband and the wife, how challenging it is for them to raise one kid, not to talk of one person doing it for 2 or 3 kids and all that. It's a lot of work. So the challenges of making financial and investment decisions while raising a family is a big deal. I know some of us are going through that, having to navigate our W2, having to navigate our kids, husband, family, mother, father. Some of us are caregivers of our parents, and also having to be dedicated in investing is a big work, especially when you are in the active side of the investment. That is, you run the day-to-day activities of it. It's not a walk in the park. It's not an easy ball game. So these are the challenges I was trying to navigate throughout the entire process. Having to navigate one, I was even schooling, working, trying to figure out my life, trying to be present in the life of my children, trying to provide for them, and trying to create a career for myself. Those were challenges, and this is not unique to me. So many of us are going through it, but the most difficult part is when you have to do that alone. That is when, man, it's a big deal and all that. So I'm going to share with you how you can navigate raising your family and also having your financial and investment goal intact, because I know some people that I started with in this real estate thing, so many people have dropped out. Some people have stopped being active in it, not because they don't want to do it, but because of the challenge of having to navigate family, business, work, and all that. Some of them just give up and said, I'm done, I can't do this and all that. And I'm not saying few people, I'm saying a lot of people are no longer into this. So there's a constant feeling of there's not enough time. I remember when I have to figure this out, sometimes my 24 hours, sometimes I say, God, why didn't you give us like 30 hours? Maybe that would be enough, because trying to figure out kids, you have to take care of them, feed them, ensure that they do their assignments, ensure that you are present in their life, asking them questions and all that. These things are real life issues. I know I do meetings. My meetings are sometimes back to back for hours and all that. Sometimes you guys don't see the back end of what happens. Sometimes I'm on a Zoom call and my daughter is coming and I'm using my other hand to say, go, 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 go. Oh, no, I'm using my side eye to give them signs. But sometimes you see my little one just standing there and saying, Mom, So these are real life issues that you just have to navigate. Or sometimes some of our properties are not in my state where I'm currently at. Sometimes there might be an emergency and I need to fly down to, let's say, to Pennsylvania. And I'm like, God, I have only 48 hours. What do I do? What's my plan? How do I get someone to take care of them and quickly rush down, go and face business and come back to my kids? This is real. The hustle is real, guys. It's not a small joke and all that. So this thing can put a lot of pressure on you, and maybe you feel like giving up and saying, this is not for me. I have enough on my plate already. I don't think I can achieve this. One thing I want to let you know is that you can actually achieve anything you want to achieve. All you need to do is to understand the strategies to balance out all these things I've just mentioned so that you don't burn out. So many times I've been burnt out. One of the things I recently started doing is time blocking and prioritization. So I know that my kids are out for school from morning till later in the afternoon. So I use those time. I book all my meetings. I do all my site visitation, everything I need to do during those time because they are not home. They are in school. I use those time to do all my meetings, my business, jump on calls, do my underwriting, anything I need to do. I use those time to do it. So once they come back, I dedicate the time to them and I also prepare their meal and do that. So you need to prioritize the time. So when they are around, you need to ensure that you're present in what they are doing and all that. So between that hours of maybe say 3 to 6 or 7, I'm out, or even to 7 most times, I don't have to do anything. Maybe 7 to 8, I have another meeting, or 7 to 9, I have another meeting. But the bottom line is there's a blocked out time that is specifically for them and there's no negotiating that. So you can as well try that strategy. Block out time and prioritize time for your family or your kids and don't allow anything take that time from you, because as much as possible you want to be present in their life and you also want them to be present in yours as well. So one of the things I used to find difficult doing then was I normally do everything. I had difficulties in delegating people to do things. So multifamily is a team sport, right? Literally, I know the entire process. So I like things done in my way or the standard way that it should go. So having to put people around to do those things without micromanaging them used to be a challenge for me and all that. So I ended up burning out because I was doing a lot of the entire process or doing a lot of job and not having time for my kids and other things. So one of the things you want to do is to delegate activities, delegate things to your team members and delegate things to people. For crying out loud, it's a business for them too. They should be a part of it because really it's all about the team. It's not just a one-man show and all that. So try to delegate. So what I started doing is I had to get assistants to start taking up some duties. Before, I used to do a lot of paperwork, a lot of administrative work aside running the business itself, aside doing the multi-family business. That one is a different thing because I'm an asset manager and all that. So managing those assets and running the administrative part of the entire portfolio is too much of a job for one person to do, and also run a family and also even run your personal life. You can see that I've not even been mentioning my personal life because that's not been on the table for a long time. It's just recently I'm trying to bring myself back into reality that I'm part of the deal as well. I need to also try to take care of myself. I know some of you are like that. You prioritize everybody, everything aside yourself, and you don't even remember yourself and all that. So recently I've started doing that. So you need to start delegating. So I had to engage some people, pay a little more. Will I rather want to clear my lawn and save that time and do other things, or pay someone $25 or $30 to do it? No, I would rather pay for someone to do that, where I take that time that I'm supposed to be using to clear my lawn to achieve other important things. So that's what I started doing in multifamily. I engaged a team to handle some part of the business and also have team members that I partnered with also handling part of the business. That does not mean that you get your hands off the wheel. No, it does not excuse you from not being responsible. Rather, what it does is that it gives you the ability to oversee things and to also collaborate with other people, and all of you with your different strengths and strategies, you achieve your goal. Another aspect of delegating and leveraging, the one I mentioned before just for the business. So for the family, before I used to do the entire cooking, cleaning up, everything. I do everything for my kids and all that, but I realized that my other one is growing bigger. So gradually I am also delegating those things she can handle. I'm also pushing it up to her to do. So now they understand what I'm into because I always carry them along. We have this conversation. Mommy is having a meeting. Mommy has a deal. She needs to raise money. Mommy has a deal. She needs to talk to investors. So they are aware about everything I'm doing. So we delegate. So periods I can't do it, I bring her up to do it. So things like having to do some meals, no simple meal, not the complicated meal, very simple meal, or taking care of a younger sister sister, having to do one or two things for me that would have taken my time, I also do that delegation to her. Because one, she also realized that you're just one person. You need to be strategic in this. You need to carry your entire family along and ensure that everybody is involved in the entire process of achieving your goal. The next one is mindset and emotional resilience. I used to be a perfectionist. Like I have, I don't know what, I've forgotten what they call it. I'm a clean freak and all that. So if things are not done, if the house is not as clean as I want it, it's going to be an issue. So I end up doing those things even after I've delegated it. Because the person or whoever has not done it to my standard, I go back and redo it. Likewise in multifamily, because I'm a perfectionist, because if things are not done up to the level where I want it to be, I try to go back and redo it. So the point here is I've started learning to be okay with imperfection. So the bottom line, because I remember one Zoom call I had with my sister and we're talking about perfection and excellence. So perfection is what you shouldn't be doing. Perfection just puts a lot of unnecessary pressure on you, while excellence is just a continuous action in trying to be the best that you can. It's not a one-time thing and all that. So learning to be okay with imperfection is very, very important. Sometimes business might take priority and your family might take the back seat. Sometimes the family will take the front seat and your business will take the back seat. So it's important that you are okay with imperfection. It cannot just be perfect every time. Things cannot just go right every time. So be okay with it and sit with it. Another thing you need to learn to do is to appreciate your small wins. This was a major challenge for me back then. I don't used to appreciate my little milestones. So you need to practice gratitude to avoid burnout. Very, very important. The more you appreciate yourself or be grateful to yourself, then you realize that you've done a lot and you can now continue from there. Celebrating small wins is important than focusing on what next. Celebrate what you've achieved, then move to what next. That will help you reduce burnout. That will reduce the pressure of going to the next thing and all that. You need to understand that accepting that balance is dynamic. It cannot be fixed. It just changes according to the situation of life. So that is it for you. So you need to understand that. As you keep going in life, you need to start structuring yourself to be more of passive. So you need to look for things that will make you a little more passive, whereas to give you time to concentrate on other things. So you need to structure your life in such a way that you start earning passive income. That's why I cannot stop talking about investing passively in multifamily. That is a very good way for you to have good balance of life and business and financial freedom. So you need to start doing that, shifting some things gradually from being active to being passive. That is, start investing in passive investment so that you can start receiving passive returns. Those passive returns will start helping you handle all those activities of life that you need money or you need to fend for. Those passive investments will start helping you address those issues and all that. The bottom line is moving towards more ownership and partnership rather than just being very active or doing your normal W2 and all that. That is the goal that you should start looking for. If you're looking for freedom, if you're looking at balancing your life, work, family, everything all together, investing more in passive investment will help you achieve that goal. So those are things that you need to start doing. So in summary, why is it worth it that we need to create a balance between everything I've just mentioned? Is because the hustle is real. So the moment we are able to understand that these things are real, our family is there, business is there, our work, some of us are working, is there, other things are taking our time. The more we're able to realize that and try to address those real life issues, the better for us. And to remember that the goal is security and financial freedom for our children. So imagine you just getting this entire thing and you're not in the life of your kids, then that is not the financial freedom that you should be looking for. Well, as much as possible, we're looking for the kind of financial freedom that has not robbed us from anything, has not robbed us from the life we would have had with our kids or the life we would have had with our spouses or the life we would have had with our family, our immediate and extended family. You don't want to have that kind of success that has ruined your entire life. Because I hear people saying, I made a lot of money, but I lost my family. That's not the financial freedom I'm talking about. I'm talking about the financial freedom that brings about balance. The freedom of having it all. That is eating your cake and having it. That is the financial freedom I'm here to address. The kind of freedom that you have your children, your spouses, your business, your work, everything all intact and all that. That is the financial freedom that I'm discussing with you. So like I said, my major purpose here is to ensure that everyone is intentional about building wealth and also building up your family and all that. You don't want to trade anyone for anything. You want everything to have equal value in your life or prioritize each according to their importance to you. That is my major goal to you. I want want you to reflect on this because these are true stories and these are real life issues. So are you building wealth to gain freedom, or are you losing freedom to gain wealth? This is a question that only you can answer. I want you to reflect on this and ask yourself that question. Thank you.